Lisa, mornings on CFAX 1070. Oversleepers, catch all the highlights on the latest audio podcast at CFAX1070.com and on the free iHeartRadio app.
BC Politics. We have invited the new leader of the BC Conservative Party, Caroline Findlay, to join us, and hopefully we'll get her on the radio at some point. It doesn't look like it's going to work out this morning, but we'll keep asking, and we'll keep trying to get her on to talk about her win and her plans for the party. But we continue to get reaction this morning to this result, and our next guest on this actually was a candidate at one point for the BC Conservative leadership race. He didn't get all the way to the end, but he was there at some point. He's also a professor of economics at Langara. Brian Breguet is joining us on the line. Sir, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great to get you here. So we wanted to get you to weigh in. I guess just first off, what stands out to you? I guess you were watching this probably pretty closely on Saturday. What's your first thoughts on this result?
Well, I think how close it was, right? I mean, and now that we've got the full results, we really can see that it's essentially a question of like 50, 60 votes here and there. So this was really close between the top three candidates. The other thing is really the fact that, if 2 months ago you had told me that Caroline Findlay would win, I would not have believed you. But she did.
Well, yeah, and you mentioned that close result. I think in the final round, so it went to 4 ballots. It was Caroline Findlay versus Caroline Elliot right at the end, and Caroline Findlay with 51% of the vote over Caroline Elliott's 49%. So that's how razor thin that result was. And what do you think that shows you? What does that tell you?
Well, this is a party that is pretty divided, right? And it's divided on many issues, ultimately, terms, but I think ultimately it became a battle between the establishment and the grassroots movement. And Caroline Findlay managed to at least appear as the grassroots, true conservative, anti-establishment candidate, and that was enough to get slightly over 50%. Now,
You've been commenting along the way because you're in the race yourself. You did drop out, and I'll talk about that in just a quick second. But one of the things you've talked about is you've kind of speculated online, at least I've read this, that maybe Caroline Elliot, who got all the way to that last ballot, lost narrowly at the end, might have suffered from getting staff from Ontario politics and kind of flying them into her campaign. Do you have any context you could share about that?
Yeah, I mean, I know it sounds, absurd at face value, but I genuinely believe it hurt her campaign. Caroline Elliot knew that going in, she was going to be seen as, she's the sister-in-law of Kevin Falcon. She was the vice president of BC United. So she had to essentially establish herself as a bona fide conservative. And the idea of going to get your staff from Corey Teneke and other Ontario people who are not very well liked here in the base of the Conservative Party was most likely a mistake. And when you lose by 60 votes and 180 points, those small mistakes do add up. So I think she took the wrong team. Many senior staff on her team were incredibly obnoxious the entire election. And I'm not the only one saying it. I've seen text messages and DMs sent from the senior staff to volunteers that are really so inappropriate, so offensive, so rude. And so I do think, that wasn't the main issue. Most people most likely were not aware of this. This is really reserved or contained within people who are, let's call them terminally online, like myself, who spend a lot of time on X or Twitter. But when it's a leadership of 25,000 voters, a conservative base, a lot of these people are terminally online and will be moved by such mistakes.
You yourself, you were a leadership candidate at one point. Why did you drop out of it?
Oh, no, I wasn't a candidate. It's either a joke or a misunderstanding. No, I was a candidate for the party in 2024, but I never decided to run for this race.
Okay, so you're never in the leadership run, but you have been a BC Conservative candidate in the past, so you have that connection to the party.
Correct.
So with Caroline Findlay leading this party, is this a party you would want to run for again?
No, anyway, I don't want to run again. I don't want my wife to be mad at me again. She was quite mad last time.
So, you wouldn't have done it anyways, okay. But hypothetically.
No, I wouldn't have done it anyway. No, I mean, I will be honest, and it's very public. Caroline Findlay was not my number one choice. I will give her a chance, but, I rank her 4th or 5th on my ballot, so no.
Now, do you think, though, so just sort of stepping back now, maybe not your candidate, maybe not somebody you would want to be up in the party as leader. But do you think when it comes to the general election, she could become the next premier?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the situation in BC is so bad between the public finance and the jury pass / property rights issue, and we see that the numbers for WDB is starting to become a little bit like the Trudeau of BC. So if at the very least, if WDB remains the leader of the NDP, I think all 5 of the leadership candidates would win a general election against him, including Caroline Finlay.
Well, I think that's some good perspective here because, even though it might not have been the candidate you would have chosen to go forward, you still think this BC Conservative Party, regardless of the leader, is a better option than what we got with the NDP right now.
Absolutely, yeah. And we've seen multiple elections. We've seen it in 2024. It's not like John Rustad was this amazing, charismatic leader, and he still came within 200 votes of being premier. So BC politics is very divided, very polarized, and I don't think it matters that much who's the leader on the right.
Well, there's a perspective from Brian Breguet. He's a professor of economics at Langara. He has been a BC Conservative candidate in the past, not a leadership candidate. My apologies for being misleading there. But you did run for this party before, and that's your take on this result. Much appreciated. Anything else you want to add? Final word to you.
No, I mean, I mentioned it last night on Twitter, but the fact that Caroline Elliot only won in Vancouver and North Van is a really bad look given her campaign and all the money she had.
Well, we'll leave it there, but much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you so much.